When you are splitting the world between two, then you need to require some kind of certification when one part of the world is not having a cap and trade system. The main problem is not really with cap and trade. The main problem is that it's not global. That is an important thing to take in consider. But cap and trade will never be global. So that is the reason why we have to think of about systems that on the sector basis could be really globally implemented. That is the main issue. So why a sectoral approach? Briefly, because along this experience in Europe really have proved, because I wouldn't say to be efficient with some local related services in some ways, although through windfall profits in some cases, and to a certain extent to some less tradable goods, okay? We can talk about cement. Cement is already tradable good, but it's not as tradable as steel, clearly, okay? Because the impact in questions of transportation is much more significant for the weight that it really has some value there. So it may work there, but steel, which is probably the most tradable one, really have a very bad effect. So has certainly failed in a global perspective for the steel industry, definitely. I mean, when I mean fail, I didn't mean fail for the business. I mean failing for the reduction of emission. That is the main point. As a global industry, this cap and trade just done only in an area has been quite ineffective. Never downsizing that down to the areas, to the sectors. This has to be in any way transformed in specific emissions, because that is the only way you can achieve those total caps. The other is just talking about, let me be very cruel, nonsense, okay? Considering a total cap for a lot of energy intensive industries means just relocating or doing that about. A specific emission, although it's not very politically, has not all the glamour that may have a total cap, is the real way in order to achieve real emissions all over the world. And the last one, that all steel traded international should finally comply with its proposed route benchmark, considering government trade agreements as instruments to gain discharge. Definitely. This doesn't mean that we're going to have a very stringent standard at the very beginning and leaving out. But the main issue, this has to be from a bottom up, just saying some facilities, let me say, not countries, not regions, that are very far from the minimum acceptable benchmark in terms of CO2 emissions should be the first one of have some kind of restriction in the way. That is the only way to do it.